So my talk this morning is beyond the horizon of possible. Beyond the horizon of possible. So we want to begin with a question, a thought. Have you ever been so certain that something couldn't happen in your life? Maybe you didn't think you could get a relationship or a career or restore back to health. Maybe it was just you didn't know if you could be happy in life. We've all had those moments where we've come to those conclusions that life just doesn't work out for me. It works out for those over there, but for me, no, I don't get the relationship. I don't get the career. I don't get the satisfaction. I remember when I first came to the center here in St. Augustine, I had applied for the position, and then when I got down, there was a dear little lady named Catherine Tanner, and she kind of pulled me aside, and she said, well, I've got something to share with you. And what she had to share with me was there had been a terrific problem here at the center, and it really didn't look like, we didn't know if the center was going to be able to survive because we owed the federal government $225,000. Yeah, I just as soon owe the mob $225,000. You want compassion from the federal government? Forget it. So it seemed to me to click when I came here. I had my own center in Atlanta. I really kind of was happy up there, but I had loved St. Augustine. I had visited for a long time, and so I thought, well, maybe it's a possibility. And then I went to the National Conference of Centers for Spiritual Living, and that year. It was actually out of the Sillamar, which is a great facility, and close to Malibu, I want to say. Anyway, it was a beautiful place, and I was telling them about what was going on in St. Augustine and how I was thinking of coming. And the president of the organization came to me, and he told me, he says, Kent, don't go there. Don't go there. He said, you know, it's too much trouble. You don't want to go there. Now, I ignored his advice because the reality was that when I came here and I met people here, I felt such an energy here that I thought, well, these people, they're going to give it a shot. They're going to really work to make something wonderful happen. And, you know, that's exactly what unfolded. It unfolded in a way I couldn't even envision at that time. Because the communities that I had grown up with in Atlanta, they were just practically, you went to Sunday service and then you had class. And that was it. That was the extent of it. Kennedy Schultz, my teacher, he really didn't like community. The one time that he didn't, the one time they talked him into giving a holiday party. Now this was for a church that 700 people attended on a Sunday service. The one time we had a holiday party, it was in the rec room of the nursing home across from the offices. Yeah, so he wasn't really about possibilities, but we got here and something amazing happened. Something beyond my thinking happened. And now I look around and, you know, we see drumming circles, we see Vedic studies, we see book studies, near-death studies, chair yoga, all of this building wonderful community and support. It wasn't in my consciousness, but it was in Spirit's vision. And what I had to do was just to step up and join with wonderful people to see it unfolding. We see one possibility, but Spirit has the whole universe. Spirit has a multitude of possibilities for more love and more joy and more compassion. This week, many of you probably saw the same thing. I was watching a wonderful news article, and it was about the topping of the cathedral in Barcelona. And this is a cathedral built by Gaudi, and they finally put on the topping cross. It makes it the tallest cathedral in the world. Now, that cathedral began in 1882, and they're still working on it. The architect, Antonio Gaudi, he devoted his whole life to it and never saw it completed. But he had a vision. Generations of people, of craftsmen, of architects, and dreamers have worked on that cathedral, knowing that they wouldn't see it completed, but that what they're building would be for generations to enjoy and to be inspired. Most of us have trouble, not if we don't see results by Thursday, we get upset. These people were envisioning results far into the future. They understood something profound. A vision doesn't just belong to us. The vision has come from Spirit. Whatever your vision is, it's come from Spirit. And because it's come from Spirit, there is a way for it to unfold. And it may be grander and more beautiful, more magical than how you have envisioned. And it may be something that will go through generations. You do one little bit of kindness. You don't know where the ripple effect of that kindness, how it's going to extend out. That one little bit of kindness, maybe it empowers that person to go out and be kinder still. You don't know what one little bit of goodness can change the world. Sometimes we think it's just one chapter, but the chapter may be a bigger story altogether. Our task is not to finish the dream. Our task is to begin the dream. And then to do it with love and trust, and Spirit will continue on. When we can't, we can trust Spirit to build greater. Gaudi, he said about his project, he says, "My client is not in a hurry." Spirit's timeline is not our own. And maybe that comes true for our dreams as well. You don't have to finish the dream. You just have to begin it. You just have to start. Take the next step. Just take the next step. And it's like when you're walking through the forest. You're on a path in the forest. You can't see all the way to the end. You can only see what's in front of you. But when you take that step, the path opens up. And you see where the next step will come, and the next step will come. That's the secret. To continue on the journey and to turn the larger outcome over to Spirit. We often think that faith means certainty in the outcome. Perhaps faith is simply taking the next step when you can't see the whole journey yourself. Perhaps faith is trusting that Spirit will carry us on when we can't for ourselves. I talked a couple of weeks ago about my neighbors who have gotten into a dispute over something really simple as a property line. And at first, they put up markers, on the property line, and that wasn't good enough. And one put up a row of plants they're called the privacy fence because they grow so quick and you can't see through them. Well, that wasn't good enough for the other neighbors. They put up a competing row of privacy plants. Now, both of these families are good. I've dealt with them both. I've talked to them both. They have the same political leanings, not my own. But they're good people. And yet this thing came to really almost physical, because then one family decided to build a privacy fence. Well, that was challenging. There were words exchanged. It got really ugly. And it kind of broke my heart, because I know them both, and I know that in their hearts they are good people. So each morning when I take little Shaggy out at 4:30 in the morning, I have a little furry alarm clock, let me tell you, and he has no snooze button, by the way. So I take him out, and then I take him out at noon. So I walk along this yard several times a day, and I was like, what can I do? I hate it because one of the ladies told me, she said, it's causing me so much trouble. I can't sleep at night. Like, it's just proper, it's just a line. Why let it cause such trouble? So I had thought about talking to them, but I don't want to get involved. And then I thought, well, I can do prayer work. That I can do. And so that's what I started doing. Each day with little Shaggy, we'd get to the property line, and I would just say, I'm seeing this confusion, this anger. I'm just seeing it melt away. And the vision came to me of a popsicle being dropped on a hot New York sidewalk in the summertime, and just how that popsicle melts away. And so that's how I started envisioning their turmoil and their anger, just like a popsicle being dropped on a hot sidewalk. Now, I have actually never dropped a popsicle on a hot sidewalk, but that's the vision that I had. Now, last week, one of the neighbors, he pulled out of his driveway and he made the mistake. His truck caught the basketball hoop of the other neighbor's son. And he dragged it. He might have damaged it. Here's the thing. I've never seen that kid play basketball. I've been there 15 years. The kid's never played basketball. But the nice thing is the neighbor went over and said, look, I've done this. It may have damaged it some. I'm willing to buy him a new one. And by the way, I'm sorry that, that we got to such hostility. A miracle. A miracle. Proclaim miracles every time you can. Proclaim them in small ways and proclaim them in big ways. See Spirit coming into your life for better, for good. Now, did my prayers bring that miracle about? Well, they didn't hurt. And they certainly helped me. They certainly helped me. I could have walked along that path and seen that symbol of anger, and if I hadn't in some way been able to get that out of my consciousness, if I had focused on that anger and that disruption, the world would have brought me more of it. And the world is glad to supply it to me. Turn on your news. The world's happy to do that. But because I lifted my vibration up, because I chose to see myself as an answer, not as a problem, the world and the universe is going to present me with more possibilities of compassion, more possibilities of answers and solutions. And we're all desperate for that. And this is how Spirit works. Not through lightning bolts, not through dramatic interventions, but just a conversation, an accepting of a better possibility, a willingness to take a new step. The founder of our teaching, Ernest Holmes, he taught that possibility is woven into the very fabric of the universe. He said, principle is not bound by precedent. Now, it's kind of confusing wording there. But what he's basically saying is just because something has been forever, it doesn't have to continue. It can stop right here and right now when we make a better decision. We can stop all this confusion and turmoil in the world. When we make a better decision, we've had enough of it. When we make a decision, we're going to elect people that are going to find solutions rather than to stir turmoil. We can put an end to this. So don't put a limit on what Spirit can do. Don't limit what God can accomplish in your life. Life is always seeking greater expression. This question is not where greater possibilities exist. The question really is, are we willing to cooperate with bringing them about? Are we willing to turn loose of our old thoughts and accept a new possibilities? Are we willing to stop arguing for our limitations? Limitations of why we can't live in joy, why we can't live in happiness and prosperity and health, why we can't be surrounded by loving family and friends that remind us to laugh and to play. Whether we're willing to loosen our grip on how we think of what is possible. And here's something else I've learned. You want to keep the destination of where you're going in mind, yes, but don't postpone your joy until you arrive. Too many people, and I have done this so much of my life, they will say, well, I'll be happy when. I'll be happy when I get the job. I'll be happy when I get the relationship. I'll be happy when I get out of the relationship. But life is happening now. We don't have time to postpone. Now is when we have to drink in the love and joy of life. The blessings are here. It's our job to recognize the blessings, to acknowledge them, and to spread them as much as we can. And this way, life and blessings compound and expand like the ripples on a water when you drop in a pebble. So we want to drink in the blessings of Spirit every step of the way. Celebrate small successes. And something else, we want to bless those that are around us who have helped us. Enjoy the surprises. Life is not about just merely reaching the dream. It's also becoming the person capable of living the dream. For your blessings to show up in your life, you have to be a channel of blessings. Your blessings come to you by coming through you. And if you can't bless yourself, go out and bless others. Life is challenging. Be willing to, be a blessing for people around you.